everyone, namaste and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing good and well in Nepal as well as in America. This video is mainly for my dearest customers in Nepal because I'm going to teach you something which I actually love and it's my favorite. Recently I visited Walmart and I found this amazing colorful yards and they are very quality. It's actually very nice. The quality of the fabric is so good and I had a tremendous color options, but I chose this 5 color option and now I'm here to teach you how to stitch. I know it's a festive season and many of my customers knew to stitch a bit, but they never gave it a try because I was with them and they trusted me a lot. I'm so grateful and thankful for them, but since I'm not there, why not you all try it on yourself? I'm here to teach you and how I'm help you actually because if you know, you must give it a try. Take some time or manage some time from your work schedule and please give it a try. I'm going to have this 5 pieces of fabrics and I'm going to teach you 5 different neck designs of a blouse because blouses are the best part and it's the must thing you should have in a festive season because every girl and every woman likes to wear a sari and it's mandatory. So I'm going to teach you from blouse. I know it's very complicated to start with a blouse, but actually I don't have any option. I don't have a huge amount of fabrics here, but I decided why not to start. The blouses are not that hard if you give it a try. So let's continue with our stitching and actually cutting first. Let's start with the most common and my favorite color, white. It's one of the favorite. I've decided to give it a U neck because it's the most common and most favorable neck design to almost every age group and it never got out of trend. It's also useful to almost all of the clothes. It's maybe it your lehenga or sari or blouse or anything. Actually anything is perfect. So I will give it a try. Also I'm going to show you some different 4 extra neck designs which is so favorable to almost all seasons, all clothes and all fabrics and almost all age groups and also that never goes out of a trend. So this is the next color. I have yellow and I have decided to give it a square neck. It is the most underrated neck design, trust me, because most of the people don't like wearing this square neck, but it's trendy. It's so nice and it gives a amazing shape to your chest line or may say your face figure. It is so perfect in every cloth also, and for the back design also it's highly recommended. Again we have this dark blue color and I have decided to give it this sweetheart neck. It is also called pan design in Nepal. Just to be renewed, and this is something a sweetheart has very forms, but it is called sweetheart neck and it's quite good for some royal dresses or some age group of people like it very much. It's also the most common design and it never goes out of a trend. You can give it a try. It's most probably so nice in the back design, also in the front. Since we have follow in the front, it goes hidden and also in the patas. So I don't usually like this, but it's nice. You can give it a try. Next we have this sky blue color. It's sky and I've given the sweetheart neck. It's the most trendy, most famous, and oh my god, I can say you it's suitable to all age groups and it's trendy at all. The little bit change in the lines or in the cutting can give you a total amazing new uh what to say amazing new view. It's so nice and I also recommend this for the back as well as front design in any cloth. Last but not the least, we have this parrot green color, and I have given it the mandatory V design because it is the also the most trending design recently, and V neck is almost many people's favorite as well as mine for many of the clothes. Usually for the sarees option which has border, it is so nice. You should give it a try in the sarees that has border, and for those who don't really like the much revealing clothes as well as for those who like so much deep neck blouses, this is the design I suggest for them. Also, if you lower the inches, you can have your finishing. And also, if you lower your width size, you can have a pan like design, which is highly recommended again. So let's start. I'm going to start with the simple and the basic, the white, and it has a plain round neck. So I'm going to show you how to cut a blouse, and you can have your depth accordingly. So let's get started. Take all the necessary materials like a measuring tape, a piece of a chalk, and a scissor. I'm taking a medium size for cutting, having the blouse length of 14, chest 34, and waist 28. For a bust size of 34, the waist is usually 27 or 28 or 26. You can take yours. It is the average size. Knowing these three sizes, you can start cutting the body part of a blouse. To fold the fabric now into the half, making sure the back half is 1 inch longer in length than the front half your blouse front piece, whereas the front half is going to be the blouse back part while stitching. Part is quite bigger in size, as well as a bit longer than the back part of the blouse. In the table, making sure it is left with no foldings or uh, scratch inside. Once it is done, you can pin it so it won't get replaced while drafting or cutting your blouse. Take your measuring tape and start measuring the length. Since I have 14 inches, I am taking 2 inches extra, leaving that 1 inch beside. Mark that length with a chalk now. This is your required blouse length. After marking that, you go to the chest part. Before going to the chest part, make sure you mark it in a well manner so that you won't get confused. My chest mark is 34, so I divide it into the 4. Mark your chest part into 4 and it's 8.5, so marking the chalk straight at 8.5 from up to down, forming a rectangular shape. Take 2.5 inch for the neck width, and for the depth it's 6, 7 or 7.5 inches according to your size you like. You can take 2.75 inches or 3 inches if you like more bold necklines. For the depth, we can now mark the shoulder line, taking 5 inches from the folding of a fabric, keeping 1 by 4 part inches margin. Draw a straight line down at 6 inches depth for the armhole, forming a half rectangular to the bust size at 8.5. Moving to the darts, we take a bust point at 10.5 inches and mark that as a fixed point. This fixed point is going to give you a proper shape. We are keeping hooks at the back, so I am going to take 3.5 inches from the folding of a fabric. From the fixed point, making 1.5 inches, mark a dot in all the four sizes to create a shape of a bus. It forms a circle. Mark a straight line all around as shown here. Now shape your bust for cutting. In armhole, make a semicircle at 2 inches difference similarly to the neck, taking 1 inches gap. Have a deep neck. Look at the lines before starting your cutting. If you find any mistake, you can alter that before cutting, because once it's cut down, you cannot alter it in any ways. You can also measure it once again if you have any doubt. Just highlight the main details in the cutting, so it is easy for you. I'm going to cut it down as you saw me in the video. You can also have some margin if you still doubt while cutting, because margin can be removed while stitching, but once it is cut down, you cannot remove it in any house. Take care while cutting your armhole and neck. You should not make it a deep. If you don't like a deep neck, you can cut it from upper gap of the line. Mark a dot at the waist size. Now taking up the front part, you just dab it well so that the chalk margin gets copied at the another half of the blouse, so it can make your stitching better. Pin it well again, and we are going to give it the armhole the front shape, because the front armhole is quite deeper than the back armhole. You can also give it a front hook size if the you are willing to have hook in the front. Cut in the middle if hook is in the front part. Give a round circular shape to the armhole, making sure you also leave 1 by 4 part down to the armhole, because while you stitch the front part, it goes upper than the back part. Now you give the minor cut to the darts so it is easy while stitching. You just take the fixed point as a reference and mark all the points all around your bust size. From the shoulder, cut half an inch so that it won't get up of your shoulder. You can also arrange the neckline if you feel any doubt. This is quite perfect for stitching. Now you can highlight the points if you feel confused or any confusion over there. The middle dart, side dart, and the shoulder dots, these are the mandatory dots in the blouse. This is the folding part down. We are done with the cutting of front part. Let's take the back part and arrange it smoothly as before. Pin it well so that it don't get replaced. And now we are going to cut the back part of the blouse. Mark the neckline. I'm going to mark it at 10, so I'm taking 10.5 inches, half inches as a margin, because we need to stitch the shoulder, taking the depth at 3 but keeping the upper part as it is. We don't cut the upper part in a blouse. I don't have a ruler. You can use a ruler to have a perfect finishing. We mark half inch from the armhole deeper because we are having a deep neck. You should always make sure you should cut the back side of the bust so that it won't fall up of your shoulder. Creating a round neck, I'm going to shape it as shown in the figure, keeping 1 or 1.5 inch margin down and 4 inch for hooks. We can have a 4 or 5 hooks here. Also cutting 1.5 inches from the shoulder. Now I'm starting to cut it as you saw me here. You can give any neck design to this, keeping the same measurement. You should take care. You must not cut from the upper part except the length. You can just trim the excessive material, give it a quite good shape, and make it a round as I show you here. Taking from the half inch and making it lesser, we are done with the cutting here. We give the back darts here with having 4 inches in length and 4 inches in width. We keep only 2 darts in back, so it gives a perfect waist finishing to your blouse. Marking is the small cuts to make the finishing. We are done with our back side of the cutting. You can shape it after stitching if there are any mistakes or you find any difficulty. This cutting is sufficient to give a fine blouse look to your body. Take up the pin and have a deep look on it. If you are satisfied, it is okay, but if you are not, you can just cut it again. Folding the down part, I am just done with the blouse cutting. If you want to put any strings over here, you can mark at the 3 inches. Actually it's in 2.5 inches, but half inches is done while stitching. Fold in a well manner so that it won't get any foldings while stitching. Taking the leftover fabrics, I am going to cut the requirements for the blouse stitching. For the hook eye and other stuffs, we have two folding for hook eyes, one single stripe rectangular stripe and a board rectangular stripe, also a mini stripe to fix the bra buttons in our blouse. All the necessary materials have been cut down. Now fold the remaining piece of a fabric to make the sleeves. I have the sleeve length of 10 and the width is also 10. It is the average sleeve length, so we begin with the cutting. For the length of 10 we must have 2 inch margin, so I'm measuring the fabric. It is 14 inch in length, so I'm done with the measurement. Folding it in the 4, keeping the 7 inch of the margin. Since I have kept 6 inch of armhole, I am taking 7 inch of depth in blouse. Now you can see me how I am going to mark, keeping 2 inch of a margin in the length and marking the length of a blouse, taking 3 inches down. and I'm going to cut for the armhole and marking 7 inches, keeping 2 inches as a margin for the stitch. This is the armhole required. Taking 10 inches for the width of our hand, I'm going to mark it accordingly. The measurements are also written here. Should take care of keeping the margin more quite more in the shoulder part rather than in its width, because when you get fat the hand width does not grow much than the shoulder part, because our chest size grows more than the width of the body. Mark a point so that it gets secured while stitching and you won't get confused again. Now cutting the front part of our armhole, make sure you cut it smooth, taking half an inch, and if there is a mistake you can cut it as I show you here. Make a smooth semicircle finishing as shown here. Mark the two shoulders as I show you here so that you won't get confused again. Finally, you are done with the cutting of two sleeves for your two hands. The chalk mark is your opposite marking of our sleeves. You should always stitch in the marking of the chalk and make sure you won't stitch in the plain fabric because it's going to be shown in stitching. Fold your all of the necessary fabrics in a your well manner so that you don't get any of the difficulty while stitching your fabrics, because cotton fabric get too much wrinkle and crosses that make your stitching difficult. Now as I show you in the figure, we are going to cut for the finishing of the neckline. Make a biased tapes as I am showing you here. Make sufficient bias tape as I'm going to make to complete the stitching of your necklines. If you cut extra it won't matter, but make sure you won't cut less. Arrange it all in a well manner and fix it in the place where you have cut it all, making sure it won't get lost or damaged in any ways. Now mark all the measurements in front of a blouse so that you won't be confused with the measurement and don't have to look in the measurement while and after. This much